Hey guys. Hi.
Hi.
Before we get started, I'm going to ask, are there any Hypixelians out there? Yeah, make some noise. Woo. You're most welcome. Welcome to Hypixel MINECON's 3D Weapons Workshop. I am Sean McCaffrey. Some know me as MooTV. I'm the content administrator. On my furthest right, we have Odium, Angus McGever, who's a 3D modeler, and he's also part of our build team. And next to him, we have Odium, or sorry, no, Odium, that's Odium. You're not Odium. This is Toran, or Proper Toz, from the Hypixel build team, and again, our 3D modeler. But the most important guy in the room is this gentleman here, Zale. He's our lead artist, and today we are going to be picking from his imagination a weapon that we will then create from scratch and import into Minecraft. So, let me just get started in a second. I'm going to ask you guys before we get started on this, why do you think that my character there, MooTV in the Hypixel network, is wearing an acacia slab on his head? There's a hand. I think that guy's right, you know. It's because I want to look like this, or that. Uh-oh. You guys shouldn't have seen that. Hypixel spoilers alert. Or this. The fact of the matter is that anything that we make 3D-wise on our servers uses a resource pack. But I'll talk about that in a little second. If we could just switch over to Thomas now, you guys. Switch over to Thomas, yeah. As I said, this is our lead artist, Zale, and he's actually...
Is a microphone? Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Hello,
working. He's working. You guys hear him okay? Yeah? And Thomas is going to speak a little about how we get started on this, okay?
Yeah, I will start by sketching something on Photoshop. Basically, I will just start by trying to find a nice shape or something. I don't really know how I will start. I just try some stuff and see if it's working. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So as you can see, Thomas starts in Photoshop. And basically what he's doing is mapping out a basic shape of the weapon from his imagination, okay? He's starting with was it a 50 by 50 texture,
Yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that there texture is 50 pixels by 50 pixels wide. And he'll basically just craft a very basic shape on there, okay?
Yeah, because we have not a lot of time, and I'll try to do my best.
He's going to try and do his best, but we'll get there. Okay, if we switch back to mine, guys, please. Okay, while Thomas is going to be working away there, we're going to call back in with him as things progress, but I would like to talk about the whole process from start to finish, not just the actual 3D modeling, the physical 3D modeling of the aspects, but the design and creative process we go through from minigame thought or design all the way through to something that's delivered and is enjoyed by the Hypixel community. So we have processes called design, creation, and integration, okay? Broken up into basic shifts. This is how we pick stuff out of our minds and get it onto the screen. So the first thing we do is we do the resource pack setup, which is really important, but we'll get that in a second, and item allocations. Myself and Thomas might have design meetings where we talk out. It's really fun part where we get to discuss what the weapons will look like or what they're needed for. We have texture work, which is what Thomas is doing right now. And the model work, UV unwrapping, optimization, and the export. So, with a show of hands, have any of you guys done any resource pack work before? Do you know what that is? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, good. Wow, excellent.
Yes,
So
quite
I'll just go home. Okay. What? No. Anyway, for this demo, we're not really going to go into too much depth. So what you see on the screen in front of you there is a basic resource pack structure. So the resource pack folder inside your Minecraft install will have, say, warlords, if you're a Hypixel fan or content admin like me, Galaxy Wars or TurboCat Racers. Within that, you'll have an asset pack that'll have pack.mcmeta and maybe a pack PNG to identify it. Then your Minecraft folder, but within there you have the really important folders for our work. We got the models folder, the sounds folder, and the textures folder, okay? But you also have your sounds.json. But we're not really going to touch a lot of that stuff right now, okay? What we're most interested in are the models and texture folders, and they kind of mirror each other, okay? The models folder will have blocks and items, obviously for the blocks, like your dirt or your prismarine or whatever, and the items like wooden swords, wooden hoes, and things like that. And they all exist within these little files called .json files, which define what that actual weapon or block is, right? So if you look at the textures folder, you have that same structure again, okay? So you have blocks, and that's where the textures or the pictures that make up the skin of the item exist, okay? So what we have to do is we have to replace the JSON and the textures that exist within the kind of vanilla Minecraft experience and put them in these resource packs, okay? This little site texture referencing is what happens if you don't do it right. The picture on the left-hand side shows one of our guys in warrior gear and warlords and a new map that some of you may have seen. And he's holding a large sword, and it's done correctly, okay? But on the right-hand side, we have the same sword, but the texture was not referenced, wasn't placed in the correct directory, which would have been the textures, models, or sorry, textures, items folder, okay? So as Thomas is working away there, we'll talk about the design meeting. So basically, when we get to the resource pack stage, we will talk especially with the build team because we have to replace items that already exist in Minecraft. It's very, very, very difficult to make new things in Minecraft. We can't create new definitions. We can't create new swords like a tomato sword or a plant sword. We have to use what's there and replace it to fit our means. So when myself and Thomas sit down, we talk about the amount of assets that are required, and then we allocate resources to them. So, for example, if we have 4 swords, we'll replace the diamond sword, the wooden sword, the iron sword, and the gold sword. If we have more, we may have to replace other items like a wooden hoe or a diamond shovel, right? It doesn't really matter because we've got our custom damage code and things like that. It doesn't actually have to be a weapon per se. You ready to go?
If you want to see maybe something
Are you ready to go from there
process.
to Cubics? Yeah.
Oh, we can show, yeah.
Okay, we're going to switch back to Thomas now to give a wee update on how he's going. Excellent. And Thomas, do you want to talk us through how you're going there and what's going on?
As you can see, I did the half of the blade. I will just, when I'm done with this, I will just copy and paste the other side to gain some time. Yeah, I'm not happy with the color, but I will try to find some nice colors for it, for the blade, and yeah. Yeah.
And Thomas, are you going to copy that blade across, or
Yeah.
so he's just going to mirror that? Yeah.
But as you can see, very simple mirrors of the shape.
So I don't know if you guys know, this is the Photoshop that Zale is using, but you don't have to use Photoshop. You can use GIMP or other software you can use.
I'm using Photoshop, but it's a French version. I'm sorry because you will see some French stuff everywhere. But I'm French, as you can guess. But yeah, I think you can understand. It's pretty basic tools. I'm using the pencil tool. You know, it allows me to do pixel art and to easily fill shape with color, and yeah.
Okay, so say you've got this texture finished now. What's the next stage? When we have that done, what's the next stage that we have to go to?
When I'm happy with the texture, I'm just exporting. Before exporting, I just have to cut my texture because I want the texture to fit in the game.
Okay, so
yeah, that's
Thomas has created this weapon on a 50 by 50 texture, okay? But the game prefers more evenly sized textures, like 32 by 32. So obviously this sword won't fit on that texture. Well, so what he has to do now is, are you going to go ahead and cut this up, yeah?
yeah. I maybe do this just when I'm done with the texture.
Okay,
but
well, we
yeah,
can come back and do it
I
in a
think
second.
in 5 minutes.
Okay,
I
so we'll
can
get
have
back to
some-
Thomas in about 5 minutes when he's ready, okay?
Yeah.
We can switch back to
Thanks.
my presentation, please. So yeah, I was talking about the resource pack stuff, but one of the best parts of developing on a team like Hypixel, it's the fact when we sit down together and we talk about what we want. This is the best part because it's where your imagination gets really fired up. We start with nothing. We start with an idea for a game, and then we start talking about the things we want to see in there, like the weapons, or like take Turbo Kart Races for example. We wanted these hover carts in there. We wanted the guys to have these fantastic racer helmets, and all the gear went along with that. So we pick on the theme of the game and we develop it from there. So that shot you see there is the concept work from Warlords. Any guys recognize some of those weapons? Yeah? See them? You have some of those weapons? Yeah? Excellent. Fantastic. So what Thomas will do first is Thomas will come up with a concept sketch like he's done today. And that sketch will be sent to me, and then myself and Thomas will argue for a little while about whether I think it's good or not, and then Thomas will always win because he has a better taste than me. And then that weapon will be turned into or that concept will be turned into what is a working drawing. Okay, so we have this iterative step. Things get tweaked, things get changed, but at the end of the day, we end up having this really nice little piece of art. And as I say, as you've seen, Thomas goes into the texture work then. This is concept stuff, okay? So in a little while, you're going to see that, yeah, Thomas is developing this on a 50 by 50 texture, but he needs to put it on a 32 by 32 texture, okay? So as you can see there, there's a big difference in the surface area, right, which can cause a problem. And what Thomas is going to show you in a second is how he's going to cut that up to fit the texture.
Yeah.
And that might make a lot of sense, but what we're going to do is we're going to apply that texture to various parts of the model as Thomas creates it, okay? Now, in a working day in Hypixel, Thomas isn't the only model. We've got these two guys here among a team of about 8, I think. And what happens is those guys get given the concept work, and sometimes the skin, sometimes you guys cut it up as well, is that right? Yeah. So this is a level of work that gets given to the guys, and they'll, well, very, very quickly. It usually takes about 2 or 3 hours for a really complex, or maybe more, about 4 hours for some really, really complex. We're going to take a little look at some of these guys' pieces of work later. But how are we going there, Thomas?
I think I'm almost done. You can switch.
Yes,
maybe.
good, go. Yeah.
I show you the final
Okay, we
details.
flip back to Thomas, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Just doing a little light effects on the blade, like this. And I got my. You can already see. You can already imagine how it will be in the game. It's easy to. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm pretty okay with this. I will create a new document and I will set up to 32 by 32 pixels. And I got my little square. Yeah. And I will just take my sword and just cut it in pieces, like this. Yeah. 2 parts. Perfect. Yeah. And I'm saving it as a PNG.
Okay, so that's a really kind of important
Okay.
stage. This is where Thomas is actually going to save this texture into his resource pack, and the items,
Yeah.
the textures, items folder, and that has to be there, okay? Because the next stage is the modeling stage, and the software we're using, Cubic, doesn't really like it when you're operating outside of the resource pack. And Minecraft, of course, won't obviously see that texture, and you'll get that terrible looking purple blade if it's not in the right place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the game folder, the texture resource pack, yeah. Okay, I'm saving it. 3D panels world, yeah. It's pretty much everything. Okay. And I'm going to the Cubic software. Maybe some of you know this.
Any of you guys use Cubic from Sparks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some experts in the house.
Nice software. Yeah. And here starts a serious thing. Yeah. I import a texture.
So Thomas is going to go and actually pick out that texture from his new resource pack and load it into Cubics. And what happens then is we apply that texture to any like geometry that he creates as he models the blade.
Yeah, here's my texture. Okay, I'm good with this. Yeah, and now I'll basically do some maths. I'll check the size of, that's pretty boring to do, but yeah. I'll check the size of everything on my sword. You see the pixel dimensions, 10 on 19. And I'll have to divide by 2.
Okay.
You'll explain why. But yeah, basically, I just see the dimension. Okay, I got my rectangle, and I come back to cubic, and I'm doing a block. Oh yeah, got my mouse. And I try to recreate the shape in cubic.
Yeah, so in case you didn't hear that, Thomas in Photoshop actually measures what size in pixels that the blade of the particular part of the model he's doing is. Okay, so what was it? Was
5. No, now I need a 5 on, yeah, 9.5.
9.5. He multiplies that by 2 in cubics. That's the way
Yeah,
it's scaled
5,
up.
11,
And then he
too
creates a
big.
piece of geometry exactly that size.
Yes. If it's not, the texture won't fit, basically.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because he's measured that piece of texture work in Photoshop and it's that particular size, if he doesn't make the piece of geometry the same size, then it's not going to work. It won't fit right. It'll look wrong.
I have a problem with texture.
Oh, well, second. Press your material manager.
Yeah. Seems good. Reloading it. Texture, 32, 32. Yeah. Strange. We have a problem here, guys.
Press F. Oh, did you apply? No, press V.
No, I can't. Strange.
Weird.
Yes, weird.
Just one minute back. Go back now. Press taste. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'll try to relaunch.
We'll get
Cubic.
$100 on job. Live demos, guys. Live demos. Can we
Just
go back to my
trying to
presentation, please? Thanks, guys. So, as we've stated, we use Cubic. You all good there? We use Cubic by a guy called Sphax. Try and get this to work here. And that little video there just shows very quickly a weapon being created in Cubic. Now, Sphax is a lovely guy. Hello.
It works.
Oh, he's back again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Sorry, can we go back to Thomas?
Some
Yep.
problem.
Cool.
Yes. Just have to get back the size, and yeah, 9.5, something like this. Yeah. Yeah. Just have to now do the hard part. I'm selecting my block. I go into UV, and now I have the 6 sides of my cube and I have to choose the position, the exact position.
So he's basically referencing his
yeah.
texture here, and he's pulling that across
Like
so that the
this.
correct part of the texture is being applied to that particular part of geometry. Okay. Now this is a process that's used in modeling throughout the games industry. It's maybe not as simple as this because there's guys that have to unwrap a model first before they actually apply a texture. But Cubics is a great entry point for people who are looking to get into this kind of creative side of game development.
Yes. And now you can see the first part of my sword. Yep.
So do you want to go ahead and do actually another part?
Yeah,
Just
I
to see
will,
it
I
being
will
layered up, yeah?
continue. Yeah.
Okay, so Thomas is going to go ahead with that in the background. I'm going to keep on talking. So if we could swap over again, please. Yeah, as I was saying, we do a lot of work with Sphax, who is the creator of this software. As a matter of fact, it's a kind of trend that we want and Hypixel want to kind of maintain, is talking to third-party guys and getting them on, especially the creative stuff. And it's actually, you guys were actually talking to Sphax on our Skype channel, and he's very open to suggestions about how the people who actually use his software interact with it and the features that they really want to see in there. So we're fostering relationships with third-party developers. Sphax himself has created some fantastic tutorials. It's a very easy piece of software to use. As I said, the tutorials are there. Anybody who wants to get into this stuff, literally just Google Cubics. We'll give them a wealth of material on it, okay? But it's a developing tool set as well, and as I say, we're working really closely with this guy. But he always takes community feedback, and he's happy to implement features that people seem to want. So guys, we've been talking about me, and I've been talking an awful lot. I'm starting to get very hoarse. So what you see in front of you is a helmet model from Turbo Car Races, and this was done by my good friend Propertos.
Hello.
Propertos. That looks like we were looking at Thomas's model earlier, and it's a fairly I'm not going to belittle it. It's a fairly basic sword design. It's very it's pretty simple,
Yeah.
but that looks like was really complicated.
Yeah.
What sort of challenges did you face when you were doing that?
Right. Well, the main problem. Is this working?
Yes, Mike.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Sorry about that.
So the main problem is trying to fit it onto a Minecraft character, because of course a Minecraft character's head is a box, and we're working with a very kind of organic shape here. So to try and get this to work, you first have to make like an inside box of the head inside the cubic thing.
Is that just so it's easier to line it up?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So, with any particular challenge, it looks, as I said, really complicated. There's looks like hundreds of elements there.
Yeah.
Lots of little boxes. Were there any parts of that like maybe UV wise or texture wise? Did you have any tweaking to do there, or?
Well, yes. It was. There's a few ways of doing this. There's you can do a bulk kind of single color texture UV, which is basically, so for instance, you can see on the goggles, there's this black section, and that would just be a single flat element going all the way across, and then I'd make it 3D with a few other different colors. So you can see there's a very slightly lighter area on it. Yeah.
Just around here, do you want?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yep, there.
Yep, right there, yep. So, and then the other way of doing this is you can see on one of the teeth up here, that one there, that is a single texture going all the way down, which was on the actual texture that Thomas has done for me.
That's fantastic. Can I ask, how do you feel when you create something that maybe Thomas has done concept work for it, and you get to the point where you've created it, and then you walk on the Hypixel server and you see a guy wearing it and jumping around? Look at my helm, dude! How does that feel? Can you express that?
It's very cool to see your own work all up on big server like that, and it's great.
Yeah.
Propertos, thank you. And it's a little difficult to see there, but probably best to look at the bottom right-hand image. This is a fantastic looking blade by this young gentleman here, Odium. And it's, again, Propertos' stuff there was very organic, but this is a lot more structured, but still quite complicated. Were there any particular challenges while you were doing this particular model that you find difficult?
I think the main challenge was the spacing between each part of the blade, because it's not just straightforward as a sword, because it's obviously fragmented. That's the kind of style it's going for. And if you get the spacing wrong between each of the elements, it just becomes random elements. It doesn't resemble a sword. It's very important to make it resemble a sword, obviously, because that's what it's going to be used for. It's a weapon.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you the same question again. If you're excitable, guys, when you saw this first in game, what did it feel like?
It was pretty surreal to see people walking around in my work. It's just pretty awesome. I can't believe that it's been used so widely, and it's quite popular.
It is a firm favourite, but guys, thank you very much for that. So the question remains, how far can we push this? Any of you guys play Turbo Car Racers when it came out? Come on, make some noise! Yeah! Turbo Car Racers was by far our most technically difficult project, both code-wise and content-wise. As you can see there from the picture, what we have from the left-hand side is a very basic concept art. Okay? And the second picture, we have the actual skin that's applied to the card. And then on the far right hand side, we got another view from Cubic of the character itself. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that it was actually Sfax himself, the guy who created Cubic, who did these models for us, right? Now, there's a juxtaposition between how advanced we want to be and then how Minecraft we want to be. There's a point where if we create something that's too complicated, it won't look like it belongs in Minecraft. We could create something that's wonderfully complicated, but it'll stick out like a sore thumb. I think the most important thing is that it looks like it belongs in Minecraft. We can't push it too far, right? It's not the guys don't want to. It's just we need to add. We are here to add flavor to Minecraft, not to change it into something that's just completely unrecognizable. So we have a firm control on just exactly how far we want to go with everything. But I want to talk to you about the whole creative side of things for a little while. There's a guy who is 16 years of age, and 2 years ago he had never done any type of art before in his life, okay? So I'm really kind of talking to you younger guys out there, okay, young guys and girls. Tig had never put pen to paper in either electronic form or in a sketch pad or anything. Was not an artist, okay, until he came to Hypixel. And I'm not saying that Hypixel made him an artist. What I will say is that the whole creative side of Hypixel, the creative server, the build team, the 3D modelers are a fantastic community within the Hypixel network, right? Tig was encouraged. His passion was pulling stuff out of his head, telling stories, right? Now, the concept work you see on the left-hand side is not actually the concept sketch. That steampunk rhino is not actually his work, but everything to the right of it is his. So he took a piece of concept work that somebody else had done, all right? Now, the second picture there is a silhouette. You ask anybody in character design in the games industry today, what is one of the most important aspects of any character in any game, and that is a silhouette. If I put Pikachu up there completely in black, you would recognize the shape. If I put Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank up there, you would recognize the shape. And he knew this instinctively, right? From going and looking on YouTube and just gathering whatever resources he could get together, okay? Then he pulled it into another piece of software called Craft Studio and started to model it. Again, this guy was 14 years of age when he started this, right? And if I could give the guy a job tomorrow, I would, but he's just too young. The point is, if you have a son or a daughter who has that sort of creative flair, please let them nurture it. Please let them discover places like Hypixel where that creative spirit can be nurtured and driven forward. We're a nice bunch of people. We encourage people where they should be encouraged and discourage people where they should be discouraged as well. But it's a supportive community, so if you can, join it and enjoy it, okay? Talking to you, dude. How are we going there, Thomas?
Yeah, it's going fine.
We're just going to flip back to Thomas again,
it
please.
takes time, but yeah, nice progress on it. Yeah, still placing some UVs and doing some blocks.
So this is a little time-consuming, guys, but bear with us. This is the kind of UV mapping and optimization section of this, okay? So again, Thomas is just literally taking the texture information he had before and applying it to the geometry that he's creating in Cubics.
Yeah.
So really what we're looking at left now is the handle and the other side of the
Yeah,
print. Yeah.
doing the handle, yeah. You can already see how... Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll copy this like this. Yeah. Of the both side. Okay, just remain some... I'm seeing 2 blocks and it's okay. Yeah, maybe three blocks actually. This one is 2 on 1.
You know, in a very quick period of time, Thomas here, Zeal, is down to the last 3 blocks of this model.
Yeah.
And the next stage is incredibly quick. Okay, so what he's going to do there is going to put in those last 3 blocks, and I'll talk a wee bit more about optimization and UV mapping. So we just pop back to my screen, please, guys. So the process he's doing now is the UV mapping and optimization. You've seen him apply the textures to the geometry as he's creating it. Some people actually wait until they've got the whole weapon built. Like I think you guys would do that maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's I find
But
that
it's
easier.
certainly-
It just depends, to be honest, what your preferred
So
styles.
what do you think? If it's a fairly complex shape, you might do it what
I-
before or
if
after?
it's really complex, you should probably do it during, because when you get to the end, it's really tedious to go through, 300 elements worth of UV mapping. It gets really confusing, and
So there you have
difficult.
it. Like Thomas's blade maybe has about 10 elements, but these guys, these professional, the guys who'll be doing this, could end up with 300 little cubes of geometry that they have to select and paint individually. Right now, they can still knock out one of these models in about 4 hours, even a really complicated one. So, well done, guys. You make me look good. Thank you. But the point is that if you want something basic, something somewhere to start, you can create something like Thomas is doing, and it won't take very long, and it's not very hard. Okay. And again, if you're having trouble, either go to the Sphax's actual site for cubics, or even come to Hypixel server and talk to the art guys. They're always here. They're always willing to talk, and as am I. Okay, I'm infinitely contactable by the community. So good practices in this. One other thing that Thomas may do, I don't know if you want to do for this particular break, because it's fairly basic, is the optimization and culling section.
Yeah.
Everything that's drawn inside a 3D word is drawn with triangles. Okay, I know we talk about blocks of Minecraft, but that block is actually, or that square is actually 2 triangles. These are rendered through a pipeline, and the more triangles you have on screen, the more performance intensive your game will become. So we like to keep things nice and optimum. So we like to optimize all of our models, no matter how complicated, as we approach the end of the cycle. So there's a couple of buttons in Cubics. We don't really have to show them. You just literally press the buttons and removes any back faces that are never seen by the player, and also calls any stuff that won't be seen by the player as well. At that stage, we might save out a separate version of the file. So we'll have a working file, and then we'll have an optimized file as well. But it's always good practice to save throughout your process, because there's nothing
Always
worse
save.
than working for 4 hours. This guy will tell you, go on.
yeah, it gets really frustrating when you've got, a 200 element model, you're just finishing UVing, and then, your computer crashes or something.
And has that happened to you as well? Have you lost work?
Yep. Sadly, yep.
It is a soul-destroying experience to see your work disappear, especially when you put so much effort into it. So save often, save regularly. But after that point, you're pretty much ready for export.
Almost. I have one block.
Well, let's go back to Thomas while he finishes off the model.
Yeah.
We're just getting ready for
Just
export.
trying to move this. Okay. This block is missing. I'm texturing it.
Yeah, so he's just
right
going to apply the
now.
textures to this last block, and then we're actually going to get ready for export.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'll come back in a couple of minutes. Okay, sorry, swatch back again, please. So, in the export setup, we have views. Everything in MINECON, we have different ways to export this, different little values. I want to show you some screenshots now about what this is. But basically, when you have a weapon in Minecraft in your hand and you're looking through the eyes of your character in Minecraft, that's obviously first person. You also have, if you press F5, you can jump outside your character, see yourself in third person.
Well, Sean, maybe we should show them directly.
You ready?
Yeah.
Actually, Thomas is ready. If we can swap back to Thomas real quick.
Yeah. And here is the little menu that allows me to move the weapon in the preview panel, and you see I can choose the exact rotation. Yep. And I'm trying to place this correctly. Yes. Pretty good like this.
So as you see there,
Almost.
we've got a series of tabs at the top of that little window there. We've got in hand, on head,
Yeah.
on floor, first person. We'll go through all of them just for a little look, okay? So what Thomas has done there, we've got rotation, we've
Yeah.
got translation, which is obviously what position it is in the hand, and then we've actually got scale. Do you want to scale it up a little bit?
I
Say
can,
1.1 maybe?
Of course.
Whoa, whoa.
We can play with this and do whatever we want. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of control over here. So
Yeah.
we're at the stage now where this has become a real 3D object in a 3D world, okay? So let's jump to go back to in hand.
Yeah.
In hand, please.
In hand. Yeah.
So just making sure you check the box, dude. Okay. The only two views we're going to worry about today are in hand and first person.
Yes. First person is this, and I can same thing.
Yep,
I can
exactly the same thing. You can
exactly
rotate.
the same thing. I will place this. Oh, something like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have to scale everything. Now, something like this.
What do you guys think? Is that okay? Yeah!
Yeah, we're almost good. Almost. Yeah, I will export the model and we will try. Even if it's not perfect, I think it's a good example.
Yeah, it is indeed. It is indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's go back to our main view. I'm going to my file, exports, and we're going to the resource pack, 3D workshop. That's my Minecraft folder, yeah.
So this time we're going to the models folder, yeah? Because you went in the textures folder, and the textures items, you drop the texture in there. So now you're putting the geometry for the model into its
Yes.
corresponding folder under models, yeah?
Yes, and I just replace the wooden sword with my new model.
So we're replacing what would be a wooden sword with this one, okay?
Okay.
All done?
Yeah, we'll try.
So the next thing we gotta do, okay, so Thomas has got a wooden sword in his hand.
Yeah, let's try, what's the shortcut?
It's
F?
F3 and T.
Three. Do it for me, do it for me.
1 second, guys. So we have a resource pack loaded, but it hasn't been updated.
Yes.
So what I'm doing now is I'm pressing F3 and T.
Suspense.
That's actually unloaded. Press escape for me, Thomas. Press escape.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Press options. Go to resource packs. Unload it.
Yeah. We're done.
Just click there, yeah. Click done. Just takes a wee second.
Bit slow, yeah.
Bit slow. Could you imagine if this didn't work? Could you imagine? I would literally run away.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got no resource pack. So we're going to reload the resource pack now. Okay.
I'm coming back to the resource pack, and I'm
Coming back
trying
to
again.
and we're going to load the 3D workshop pack from today. Click done. That's it. Done.
Okay, and it's working.
And there you are, guys. Within the space
Yeah.
of 1 hour, a 3D model from nothing, from this man's head,
Thank you.
into Minecraft.
Yeah, and you can see several of you. Yes. It's really
Leave the sheep
working.
alone, dude.
It's,
No!
it's perfect, yeah.
You're hungry, aren't
It's
you?
work-
You're hungry.
Oh, thanks.
So while Thomas is making a burger for himself of some sort, or
yeah,
some sort of
yeah. I did some tests with very fast ones, just butter knife and another sword, but yeah.
I think that's
Yes.
about. Just before, sorry, if you can open Cubics again for me.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to give you a little hint when you're doing weapons in Cubic, okay? Could you open up your view tab there, please?
Which one?
Views.
And?
In hand, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The first person view of your weapon is one of the most important. That obviously third person. But the way that a weapon is angled, okay, depends, gives you an indication of what its use is going to be. All right. So, if you look at that little dagger there, it's kind of tilted in towards the center of the screen. So imagine you're holding a dagger and you're attacking someone. Don't never do that. But you would hold the dagger, pointing it in towards the center, makes it a bit more vicious, makes it a bit more dangerous looking, okay? But if you had a heavy weapon like a hammer, what direction do you think would it be? Would it be towards the center, or would it be away from the center? Anyone? Away? 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 You say away? Away, exactly. Because of the weight of the hammer, you want it to look and feel heavy to the player when they're using it. So literally, just tilting that weapon just ever so slightly to the right makes it feel heavier and more, more dense, okay? You do that for me?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay, it's okay.
Yes.
Guys, we have about 20 minutes left, I think. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have
Maybe.
about 20 minutes left, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Perfect.
Guys, the very nice people at Game Band woo, have given us some of their game bands, and we're going to throw the room up to some Q&A. I'm going to go out of my seat. And I'm going to give a prize to the best 2 questions that I hear from you guys. So, anybody got any questions for myself or any of my team? You, young sir. Hello. What's your name?
Peter,
And what's your question, Peter?
will you be uploading these weapons for any new games?
Will we actually be using these ones for new games? Do you know Thomas hasn't really done much 3D work, and it's the first time he's been doing it? So, 1 wee second. No, probably not. We've got bags of content coming this summer, and we've got more updates than you can shake a big 3D weapon at. So, yeah, good question though. Sorry. Hello. What's your name?
Molly,
Hello, Molly.
how many hours have you spent approximately making all the weapons on your games?
All the weapons on Hypixel or all the weapons on a particular game mode? On Hypixel. I'm going to give that one to you boys. How long do you think we have taken to make every single weapon on the Hypixel server network? Just ballpark figure.
Weeks.
Just
Yeah,
working
weeks.
hours or
Just no
months?
warlords,
Oh,
everything,
overall?
TKR, whatever. Yeah.
months?
Months even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
We have a team of about 8 people who do our models. So, and they work continuously. So it is months and months of man months. So work for a man for a month, basically. So yeah, it's good. And there's a young gentleman here. Hello, sir. How are you?
If Mojang asked you to import one of your weapon skins, which one would it be?
That's a good question. If Mojang asked us to take one weapon that we've made, which weapon would you guys want it to be?
To be?
Which weapon from the Hypixel's stuff? If Mojang asked you guys which weapon would you
Does it
say,
have to be a
yes,
weapon?
Take this one, take this one. Does it have to be a weapon?
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh, that was the question, yeah.
That's really difficult. There's quite a few. They're all quite themed weapons that we make just now. So like the warlords
You're
are all
dodging the question, Angus. You're dodging the question, dude. Come on.
something
yeah.
that would suit in Minecraft probably without it be something that's not too out of place in Minecraft.
Fair enough. So,
So
maybe one of the entry-level warlord swords, maybe.
yeah,
something
probably a
like that.
warlord sword. Yeah.
So yeah, well there you go, an entry-level warlord sword, because as the guy says, no, it'd have to fit with Minecraft and whatever. But it depends what we're doing, I suppose, as well. I'm going to go with you. Your name, sir?
Alex.
Hello, Alex. And what's your question?
If you could have any of the warlord's weapons in real life, which one would it be?
Pardon.
Any of the weapons from warlords in real life, which one would it be? Look, he's excited. He's excited. Can't wait. What would it be? Torn.
Yeah, sure. I've always wanted the arm blade. The
The arm blade. Any guys got that? The arm blade? Arm blade, okay, right. I'm going to. Can I run up here without things blowing up? Yeah. I'm going to go right to the back of the. That chap there. Hold on. Excuse me. Hello.
Oh, I can't feel my hands.
And your name, sir?
I am Task Force 51, known to the community.
Hey, dude.
I'm a 3D modeler for the Flans mod. I make jets and helicopters, and
Cool.
I was wondering how I could go about joining your team.
That's a very good question. Well, the first thing you do is you join the server. I'll back you up. Yeah, join the server, and we have an active creative community. So you join the creative community, and you start talking to people. It's as simple as that. What we do is our guys in the creative server have their eyes and ears open at all times, and they approach me and say, "Moo, come and see this guy's work. It's absolutely amazing." Now, at the end, I can't go about hiring and firing people willy-nilly. It has to be outstanding. It has to be really good. But even if it's at a stage where it's no, above average, you will get so much encouragement. You will get so many people helping you out, and so literally come and play on Hypixel. It's as simple as that. You, my friend.
So, if Minecraft didn't exist, where do you think you'd be now?
Having a nice, quiet life. Not tired, not exhausted. Where would I be? I would probably be in game development and living in Dublin. Is where I would be personally. What about you guys? If Minecraft didn't exist, that's a very good question. Tough one, thanks for that. If you guys, if Minecraft had never been, God forbid, sir, if Minecraft had never been made, where would you guys be right now?
Mostly
Okay.
just in the art community, probably with digital artwork. It's
Yeah,
kinda
yeah. I mean,
stuff
you're
we're into, that's-
especially good at photography. So,
Yeah.
you know, wedding photography, things like that, you'll probably end up in.
Yeah, just expanding in our creative arts.
And what about you, Thomas?
Doing art stuff.
Art stuff.
Art
I've-
stuff.
Artists
I've
for
been
life.
I have been a level designer and game designer for about 15 years, doing more commercial work for like Havoc and ATI back in it's a long time ago. But yeah, I've been still in the industry somewhere. All right, I'm going to stretch my legs again. And you think you have no chance of getting an answer, do you? Well, take the roll while I'm coming. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you. Have you ever had any ideas which you thought were really cool, and then until you started making them, you realised they actually weren't very cool?
There's a very good question. Okay, the question was, have we ever had an idea that we thought was absolutely awesome, and then when we started to make it, it was terrible? Is that correct? Yes, a very good question.
It can happen.
The sad fact of the truth is, yes, we have. We have actually, we've had full games that have been pulled from Hypixel before they were released. You know, so it isn't just content, it's actual game concepts and game work that we've invested time in, and then when we got to the end, a particular process that we do, the game gets canned because it's just not, we have a very, very, very high standard of Hypixel. I'm gonna go, just smiles at this dude over here. No. Gonna go, let's go in the middle somewhere, right? You, sir. Hello.
Hi, if you could move one weapon from the game onto another game, what weapon would it be and what game would you move it to?
Hard question.
So, guys, the question is, if we could move a weapon from one game mode into another game mode, which weapon would it be and why?
Is this Hypixel?
Hypixel, yes. Normal games.
That's quite difficult.
Well, the obvious answer is an M4 from CVC and bringing it into wars, just start gunning people down, you know? But yeah, and it is.
Well, obviously, it'd be nice to be able to put some stuff into survival games or things like that. You know, some of the Warlord's weapons.
I would actually think, what is it, Razor Ice? I would love to see Razor Ice brought into Skywars and log into Skywars with my big admin sticker and this on my hand, go, ah! Because it would terrify people. That's why I would do it. All right. We're going to go for, yes, this young man here. What's your name, sir?
Ashton Snap. My question is, if you could take any weapon, no matter what the game is, no matter who made it, if you could take any weapon, duplicate it, and then combine it with its original counterpart, what would it be?
I'm actually exhausted. I want run that past me again.
Okay, if you could take any weapon, duplicate it, and put it with its original, how would you do it, and what weapon would it be?
So you're asking me if I would double up a weapon. So if it was the first weapon, you're doubling up the blades, and you know, what would it be? How would we do it? Well, you couldn't actually just copy the model twice. You couldn't do that. You'd have to take certain parts. So you would model the original first, yeah, obviously, okay? And then you'd take the interesting parts of the model that you like, and then you would literally attach it to the old model, yeah? Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool if you had? There may be somebody from Muyang in the audience. Wouldn't it be cool if you had two diamond swords, and you put them together, and they made a two-handed diamond sword? Yeah. Anybody else? This young man who was shouting and roaring at me earlier on. I'm exhausted. Hello, sir. What's your name?
Xander.
And what's your question, Xander?
Pardon? How do you spread the load of making a resource pack between the team?
That guy has. That's a fantastic question. How do we spread the weight of creating a resource pack across the team? Well, when we create a resource pack, we already know what we're going to replace. We already know how many elements and things we're going to put in there. So we literally have a big Google Doc with all the stuff that we want to get. Right? And we have a 3D Art Squad Skype chat. So what we do is we get the guys together on one place and say, right, start going through this list. There's one person who makes sure that the resource pack is put together properly, and that's me. That's my job as well, part of my job. But all the rest of the guys on the 3D art team, they pick one model at a time so that the content is kind of bled to me, so I don't get it all at once, so I don't get completely overwhelmed, because we might be working on 2, 3, 4, even 5 projects in Hypixel at any one time. A very good question, young man. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to go. Hello, sir. What's your name?
Henry. What was Hypixel like when it just started, like when you started the server?
That was back in 2012. To be quite honest with you, I'm not too sure because I wasn't there. But guys, how long have you been with Hypixel? Since 2012? Couple of years maybe. Anyway, Hypixel really started out by doing adventure maps. Okay. Hypixel, the man himself, was loved the adventure map side of things. But Hypixel, and I think it was Rezus, Knox, give me a nod if that's right. Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thought to themselves, well, these queues for these adventure maps are really, really long. What if we had something else to do while we're waiting to play adventure maps? So the guys put it together. They started coming up with minigames, and that's how Hypixel was born, and the shape you know it and love it today. Yes, young man.
I'm Matthew, and my question is, why did you want to make the weapons so detailed on Warlords?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. And the reason we wanted to make them so detailed is because, to be quite honest, we want our stuff to stand out. We want, when you take a screenshot of a Hypixel server, you know it's a Hypixel server because of the level of content. You know, they've got these big flaming hammers in their hands, and there's stuff coming off it, and you go, wow, I want that. We want the player to want the stuff that we create. And you know yourself, you don't have to pay anything for this. You can just go on and play, and you can earn the stuff yourself. So it's really, they give you guys cool stuff. Simple as that. I'm going to go with, first to say, Moo. Over here somewhere. So I'll be back to you in a sec. Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name's Ryan, and my question is, how do you get the enchant, like the texture on the swords, like with like when you enchant it, how do you get like the texture onto the swords?
That is actually, you mean the enchant that kind of effect? That's a Minecraft back. We don't do that. We don't do that. You know, that's part of the us. So you enchant something, it has that effect overlaid. Yes, sir. Your name?
David. What are you most proud of to do with the Hypixel server, like of everything that's ever happened on there?
Difficult question, thank you. David's question was, what are we most proud of? Just in the whole Hypixel experience, or just anything? You guys? It sounds dead cheesy, but you guys, the fact that our community has backed us so strongly, the fact that our community has grown month over month over month since August, our numbers have tripled in the last 6 months. And so it's you guys that make that happen, and that's what I'm most proud of. Creating a place where you can enjoy content that you want to enjoy, right? I'm going to go, how long do we have left, guys? One more? Last question.
Important one.
Young lady at the back here looking for my attention. Hello. Yes, miss.
My son dragged me here from the US. Could somebody please teach me how to play Minecraft?
Come and see me later. Oh, he's joking. one more. I'm going to go this young man here. Oh, sir, what's your name?
Nick. I want to get into 3D design of items, and I'm not sure what to use because I'm on a Mac, and Cubix isn't supported by a Mac.
Good question. I don't actually know because I don't have a Mac myself either. I've never used one, believe it or not. I know. Noxie, do you know if Sphax is coming up? Just give me a thumbs up if it is, or Sphax is doing a Mac version. We're not too sure. The reason I talked about Cubix so much is because it's a great piece of software for someone who's just learning this sort of stuff. So I'll tell you what, jump on Hypixel forums, right, and say you're here. We'll get you an answer probably from the artistic guys. Is there anything else, Thomas? A good way for somebody on a Mac to get into the whole creative side of things, because Cubic doesn't work on Windows, and there's not a Windows version available just yet. So is there any sort of programs that you would recommend?
Can you repeat the question, Sean? Because
the young gentleman up there.
Yeah, nothing here.
The young man up here wants to get into 3D modeling.
Yeah.
And design. Would you recommend any particular software packages?
Yeah, for Minecraft.
Yeah, other than Cubix, because he's only got a Mac.
No, I can't, because I'm not even sure there is Cubic on Mac. I don't think so. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Guys,
yeah,
I'm afraid
you have to check on the sites on Cubic on Sphax's side, because I'm only using a PC. Yeah.
I think there's you can look around, because Torrin had a Mac before. We can't remember what the program was called, but it wasn't as great as Cubic, but it was doable.
So it was a version of Cubic available to run on the Mac. Is that correct? There you go.
It's very good for starting.
As a matter
out.
of fact, do you mind if that young man comes and talks to you after this?
That's
just
good
for a
news.
second? Is that okay?
Sorry, what?
Do you mind if that young man comes and talks to you for a second after this? Is that okay? There you go. My gentleman friend up there, who's one of our artists, is actually going to talk to you about how to get it on a Mac. Okay? So come up and see us afterwards, all right? Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
My name is...
Let's take a picture with everybody.
Yeah, selfie. Why not? You want to take a picture? You taking a picture?
Thank you, because it's really important.
Wave.
And yeah, we are here because of you. Just setting up the phone. Yeah, guys. Everybody have to scream.
Guys,
Are
come
you
on,
ready?
do that. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Thanks, guys.
Guys,
thank you very much.
Give it up for proper ODM Zeal and MOTV. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.